What's up, everyone? This is Niyi Adewale, host of the Ekabo Home Financial Freedom Mastermind Group. This group meets virtually every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, and the members of this group are committed to achieving financial freedom well before the traditional retirement age. So in this podcast, you are going to get VIP access to the conversations we have about different forms of investment and creative ways to get your dollars working harder for you than you originally worked to obtain those dollars.
Okay, so right now, I did share last time that me and my sister are actually really interested in house hacking. And so right now, of course, we're just working on the credit score and the money. But outside of that, what is a good starting place as far as what, resources and things that we should maybe, have? And also, I would be using my FHA loan in this process. And so I guess my second question would be, is it if she moves in with me and like let's say she's not a tenant, so she wouldn't be on the opposite side, but she would be in the same space I'm in, would it be possible for her to hold off and then do the same strategy as well using her own FHA?
So to answer the last question first, absolutely. And that's one of the benefits of using it. I'm actually helping a client right now. That's a couple, it's boyfriend, girlfriend. And the girlfriend bought a house, I want to say in February of this year. And as you know, you've got to wait 12 months, things of that nature. But she bought a house using FHA, and the boyfriend's going to close on a that they both live in. And the boyfriend's going to close in a house using FHA that they're both going to move to so they can rent out the other house as well. So yes, you can do that. And that's one of the benefits, because as long as you're both not on the mortgage or on the title, then yes, you can both use your FHA.
Okay, great. And so does this mean that, you would be the landlord, or how does that work?
You mean like when she moves in with you?
So for myself, so if anyone that is doing the strategy of house hacking and you buy the multifamily, of course, rent out the other units, do they contact you when something goes wrong? So
Oh
you're
yeah.
technically the landlord?
You buy the house, you are the landlord. Now, there's a couple ways to go about it. I personally believe that it's great experience if you're going to do a house hack to manage it yourself, because you're on site. It's like training wheels. You kind of get to understand, hey, this is what it takes to manage a property like this, so that if you do decide to outsource that in the future, you know what you're looking for in a good property manager. Now, that being said, if you wanted to outsource that, you could, but it would be kind of weird considering you live there. So you would become the landlord.
Okay, perfect.
And the first part of that
That's
question, I
good.
don't think I answered that, right?
I forgot the first part of my question.
I was hoping for a refresher because I was so focused on this. I forgot as well.
It was just, what resources, do I need to be able to kind of understand and learn while I'm, getting the money and the credit together? Because I mean, one question that I do have in regards to this one is that I'm working with agents actually right now. Now, of course, these are just for fix and flips or wholesaling opportunities, but some agents do send me the numbers for multifamilies. And so I come across them and I run the numbers to see what the cap rate is going to be. And are those things that you would need to know before house hacking, or is that really like not necessary?
Yeah, so a lot of people look at it differently, right? For me personally, and to answer the first question, resource wise, I think you're doing it right now. Connecting with other people that have done it and are doing it is great. So if you join these calls, pretty soon you're going to see other people that are house hacking jumping on as well. That's
Okay.
one. Two, listening to podcasts, which I know that you do, right? That's a great way to just get that knowledge constantly, so that when you do jump in, you feel comfortable and you know some of the resources that you can come to help make it a little easier. And then as far as like looking at cap rates and things like that, that's super important when you're looking to buy a multifamily as a pure investment, right? Because it has to make sense.
Okay.
You've got to factor in where we are in the market. But when you're buying your first house, especially a house hack, I like to simplify things. If you start looking
Okay.
at cap rates and getting confused with all this, you may never jump into real estate. You'll say, hey, I need to be getting a 10 cap, and I need to be making money on this and things of that nature. What I look
Yeah.
at from a house hack perspective is, what are you paying in rent per month per day today? And if you were to purchase this house hack, are you able to keep your monthly payment the same or less? So for example, the first one I bought in 2016 was a house hack. Before that, I was paying about 1,100 per month out of pocket for an amazing crib out in Louisville, Kentucky that Job knows about.
Mhm.
And when I bought that house hack, my mortgage was 1,350, so it's a bit higher. But I lived in one unit and rented the other two out, and those other two units brought in 1,400 per month. And so I was actually living for free, right? Now it's harder to do that nowadays because values have gone up, but you could still get into a situation where you're going to be net neutral. Say you're paying 1,000 a month today, maybe you're paying 1,000 a month then, but now you own the whole property and you can move out and keep doing that. And so that's what I'd
Mhm.
look for. I'd look for, hey, what am I paying today? And can I get a house hack that will either keep me neutral or make it less than what I'm paying today?
Okay. Thank you. You actually answered all my questions.
Come on now. Hey, that's what we're trying to do. And switching gears, Joe, I know that you saw the news again today, as everybody did. The Fed is not playing around, man. Another 3/4 of a point interest rate hike. Um, what have you been seeing, and kind of what are your first thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm off mute. Yeah, I don't know. It's not unexpected, I guess. I mean, we'll probably continue to see those hikes and whatnot. Um, Obviously, based on previous podcasts and whatnot, like I gotta shy away from giving anything that could be perceived as financial advice. I'm not here to give financial advice unless it's individual capacity, but it's definitely interesting. I'm curious to see what's going to happen over the next, 3, 4 months or so as we enter into 2023. I'm expecting a good amount of volatility this quarter, and then maybe seeing things start to settle out or flush out come early 2023. But yeah, I mean, they are not messing around. Things are definitely getting aggressive, and it's moving fast.
Absolutely. I've seen that as well. And, I'm not so much in the markets. In the markets, all I do is, again, the Vanguard, S&P 500 and kind of keep it going from there. But as
Mhm.
far as like real estate, what I've seen is if you've listed your property in that for that pie in the sky number, like well above all the comps and things of that nature, and your house has something wrong with it, it's not like last year where anything was selling, right? Those
Right.
things are going to sit for a while, and now you've got to kind of come back to earth. And so what it's giving us is a unique buying opportunity, a unique opportunity that we haven't had in the past 2 years, right? The past 2, 3 years, it's been highest and best, but now I can actually go out there and negotiate on behalf of my buyers. And even like that, I have two closings, one happening at the end of this week and another happening on Monday. And for both of those, we were able to get full closing costs covered and items repaired just because where we sit in the market and seller psychology of, hey, my home's been sitting for 2 weeks. I'm nervous. If this person
Mhm.
walks away, will I get somebody else? And so it's a great time to be in the market.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have things turning over nearly as quickly. You don't have nearly as many offers coming in the door. Pressure is now a little bit more on the seller than it is the buyer. Kind of refreshing in my place as I'm probably looking to pick something else up or invest at some capacity. If you're looking for more investors in that massive units that you're doing out in Louisville, I believe.
Hey, come on
But
now.
because yeah, I mean that might be where I dip in my toe over the next year or so. I think I'll have some extra capital here, but not sure if I want to pull the trigger on another property just because I'm still unsure as to which property I want. Is it a vacation place that we rent out? Is it a short-term rental? Is it a long-term rental? Is it a duplex, triplex? And yeah, I mean, see in the next 3, 4, 5, 6 months with interest rates, I'm wondering, housing prices should probably continue to come down, trying to get either the 1% rule of purchase price and rental income, but yeah, I don't know if you look at cap rates or what, and if you have tools, because I've seen people calculate them a couple different ways, but definitely trying to get a bit more educated there as we've got some change in the pocket to play around with.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And I think it comes down to all those strategies work. It's all about focusing on one and building that one bridge before you jump all over the place. And that's kind of like a mistake that a lot of people make, right? In
Mhm.
this and in other things is they don't focus. So once you kind of find one that you're like, hey, this would be kind of cool to get into, it's just narrowing it down and focusing. And to your point, the tool that I use to calculate income for like long-term rentals is just the Bigger Pockets calculator. It's amazing. They put a lot of background work into making sure that the numbers are going to add up and it's going to match. And it gives you like reminders like, hey, if you haven't looked at what the taxes are, you should probably plug that number in. Hey, what are
Mhm.
you paying for? Utilities, things of that nature, your mortgage, interest, taxes, and it compiles it all together in a format that looks very beautiful and is easy to go to other investors and present it to. So I use Bigger Pockets calculator. Now, as you start to get to bigger units, like this 105 townhome unit that we're building, you've got to go to, quote unquote, grander software, right? To factor in a lot of other expenses and fees and things of that nature. But if you're doing 50 units or less, I think that calculator is what is a-okay.
Okay. I also heard something about someone who did Airbnb. They had built up a seven-figure practice with it, but then apparently Airbnb has like $1 million liability policy on each of their tenants or people that rent through them. And then they went out and sued that person for that $1 million essentially because they had that revenue in there. Have you heard of that, seen that, or like had any exposure to that?
I would be interested in reading that full story. If you have that article, please send it my way.
Yeah, I'll
I
see if I
have
can find it.
I have not heard about that. And so they went and sued the owner or sued Airbnb for something that happened on the property.
Yes, and it was actually in the parking lot of the property. So I think it was like a condo unit that someone owned, and a light was out in the parking lot. I think someone got injured in and around that area, whether they fell or got attacked, I can't remember. And then I can't remember if that tenant or renter sued Airbnb or sued the host for that amount.
Wow. Well, we live in a litigious country. And
Yeah.
so highly recommend insurance in all ways. Airbnb does have their liability insurance, but I still keep a pretty strong insurance policy and umbrella policy on my properties as well,
Yep.
just in case.
Hey,
Just in
yeah,
case a light bulb
people
hasn't been
like to get
switched
their
in a
money
while.
from someone.
Yeah, this is true. This is true. No, if you find that, I'd be very interested in reading, kind of learning more, but I haven't heard of that in the past.
Okay, that's good to know.
And we have someone on the iPhone here who just joined.
Oh, hey, it's me. It's Desmond. I guess it doesn't show my name.
There he goes. Desmond, how you doing?
I'm doing well, man. How are you?
Hey,
Change
I
my
am
name
super
here.
good, and you are in the final throes of picking up a property, first one. And I don't know if you heard Kayla a little earlier, but she was talking about getting into house hacking. And Desmond,
Uh-huh.
one of the things that we like to do when somebody joins for the first time, we always ask that individual to just tell us a little bit about your investing goals and kind of what you got going on.
Sure. Yeah. Hey, everybody. So, yeah, working with me, like he was saying, looking at my first property here. Plan is to close October the 7th if everything goes well. And yeah, I mean, I'm super excited about it. I've been studying, house hacking and looking to get in the game. It's been more like the aim. I've just been waiting to shoot, right? And in the past couple of months, thanks, Kayla, on the congrats. Yeah, in the past couple of months, started to shoot, right? And things were looking well, getting the fourplex. It's right next to the airport over in College Park in Georgia. And yeah, if all goes well, we're gonna have one long-term tenant who's there right now. Her lease is up next year. Planning to have two other Airbnbs there. Wasn't exactly sure about the Airbnb piece at first. I've stayed in a bunch myself, but like when it comes to needing the cash flow, or at least having that help the cash flow, I wasn't exactly sure about it. But I think like with the help of some of these convincing, and then just like doing some of the numbers with the help of the Bigger Pockets calculator, I think that helped convince me a bit more. But yeah, I mean, the overall goal, at least right now, is to cut out my rent, right, and have my rent go to zero. That's what I've been trying to do for the past like year or so. I'm currently in Miami right now. Just flew back down, literally today. Got down this morning. packing up my stuff, moving back on Saturday, and then closing with the property. But down here, I've been paying about $1,200 for a room close to downtown, and some people like laugh at that because they're like, "Oh my god, that's like crazy expensive." Some people are like, "Oh, that's like super cheap," right? Depending on like where you're from, like your living situation. But yeah, I mean, my goal, right, through all this has been to cut my rent down to zero, given like all my expenses with the property, not just my PITI, but like putting away for vacancy, putting away for capex, putting away for maintenance. So like trying to do it right out of the gate. And yeah, that's the goal right now. And I think based off at least the projected numbers, that's at least on track to be hit. So let's see how things go. I can definitely, give an update in the next few months or so. But yeah, once the B&Bs are up and running, I mean, it's looking like I might even be making money off of the property if things just work out well. So yeah, that would be super exciting. We found out today that it was in a flood zone. So luckily that didn't tank the deal. And I was able to get a quote on that. That was pretty reasonable. And yeah, I think from there, the goal is going to be to have all my expenses be zero based off of real estate and based off of house hacking, right? So yeah, I think in another year, maybe even sooner in terms of like investment property in my hometown. I'm from Kentucky, and the properties the properties there go anywhere from like 80,000 up to like whatever it could be, right? But like they start pretty low, so I might set my sights there. But definitely in another year, I plan on getting another house hack, hopefully using FHA and jumping through the hoops for that, so that I can put that low percent down and yeah, hopefully cash flow. So we'll see.
Hey, come on now. And for a little bit of reference, Desmond has been doing it right. Came in fully pre-qualified, ready to go, has been doing his research and knew the game plan, which was to get a house hack and try to eliminate that housing expense so that you can save up for the next one and the next one and the next one. And Kayla, I know you had questions about like, hey, what should you be focusing on? Desmond's somebody who's actually in the process right now, right before close. Did you have any other questions for him?
I don't. I'm still just trying to, fully understand how it works. If can you repeat it one more time? How many units is it?
It's a 4-unit.
It's a 4-unit.
Yeah.
So you're living in one unit, and then you're renting out the other 3 to equate to how much you would.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm inheriting one tenant, and she's a long-term tenant. She'll be there until September of next year. And then the other 2 units, we're gonna do Airbnb. And pretty much like I was talking to Nia about this the other day, I'm gonna have my like Target or Amazon cart like ready, closing day, hit the buy button and hopefully have my stuff come in sooner rather than later, so we can get the B&Bs set up sooner rather than later. So yeah, that's the goal.
And how long did it, I'm sure it varies per person, but around how long did it take for you to kind of learn the process?
It's a good question. I mean, I've been looking at it for a while. I would say, I mean, it's hard for me to say when exactly I felt comfortable to jump in. I mean, when I started looking and when I hit Nia, right, to start the process is when I had like the financial means and when I felt comfortably financially. But like I was saying, like I was kind of studying the game for probably about like a year and a half or so, just like out of pure interest of it. And it kind of started from like looking into fire and understanding like, how can you make money kind of passively or, using the money you already have. But yeah, so I think I've been studying it for a while. It's hard for me to say when exactly I felt comfortable, but I think that like now that I've gone through it, I realize I could have done it most likely like a long time ago. Like if I had the money, just seeing, how easy it's been. I think Nia's been a big help with that. Like having a good agent to kind of, hold my hand a little bit through some of the difficult parts. But yeah, I think going through it with someone, familiar with house hacking and familiar with investing made it 10 times easier, I think. And then also, yeah, like having done a bit of my own research beforehand, made it that much easier as well. So, yeah.
And Desmond, one thing that you mentioned, right, that is critical is the process is a lot easier than a lot of people think. It's like that old saying, and I'll butcher the saying, but I'm just gonna put it in layman's terms. Basically, the anticipation of whatever you're gonna do is always a lot more fearful than when you're actually going through it. And after you get through this full process, man, it's going to be like switching apartments next year when you're like, hey, I'm going to go buy a new house.
Exactly.
And everybody else is kind of like, hey, I'm on the edge. What about this? What about that? It's just focusing on one step at a time, Kayla, as much as you can, as Desmond is, so that you can get to that next step and the next step and the next step. And
y'all are both kind of calming my nerves down. I can tend to overthink this.
Good. I hope it does. And as Desmond continues to finish through this process, he can tell you kind of how he gets everything up and running live, which would be awesome. And shifting gears a little bit, Shelton, I see you joined. Welcome.
Hey, how you doing?
Super good, man. How are you?
I am doing wonderful. Sorry, I'm a little bit late.
Hey, no worries. And one of the things we like to do when somebody joins for the first time is we put you on the spot a little bit. So Desmond was just on the spot, but Shelton, if you wouldn't mind sharing a little bit about your background, some of your investing goals and kind of what you've done so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Here, I'll start my video too.
There you go.
Hey, what's going on? I live down in Destin, Florida. I have 2 short-term rentals down here. 1 condo, non-warrantable condo, and then a townhome that I've been renting out for starting in January, and then the condo since last June. Investing goals is to become financially free in the next 8 years, or like 5 to 7 years. Talked to me about getting a multifamily place in Atlanta, still just building up that cushion with kind of pullback in the housing market to prepare for the next one.
Love it, man. Love it. And it's just continuing to stack upon what you already have, right? And you mentioned that you're in the condo market. And I believe when we talked, you're doing short-term rentals with the condo?
Yeah, both of them are short-term rentals down here in Destin, just because it's the beach market. So it keeps it moving. Kind of slow right now, just with the school year start back up, but it's been pretty solid.
Okay. And question for you on the condo piece, because out in Atlanta, we've been trying to avoid that like the plague, right? Because they will hit you over the head. But have you had any issues with like neighbors complaining or them trying to shut down short-term rentals?
No, so since like the short-term rentals in Florida have been going on for forever, whether it's like Airbnb or those like vacation rental companies, they're very well zoned. They're not like trying to throw any wrenches into anything, because they've already kind of established where the short-term rentals are allowed. And so the condo that I have is, the reason it's non-warrantable is because it's a condotel and the majority of tenants are transient. And so getting financing on it is difficult. But because it's that like condotel, it's like understood that it's going to be transient. Most of the like condos down here have like an in-house property management. So like Compass Resorts runs the one that I'm in, but my partner and I manage that ourselves.
Nice. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool, man. Thank you, Shelton. We appreciate it. And welcome to the Financial Freedom Mastermind Group.
Of course. Glad to be here.
Come on now. And so we were talking about first starts and house hacking and kind of how that can just accelerate your journey into the investing world. And Shelton, you started off with, did you start off with the house hack or not so much?
No, not really. Honestly, I probably did it the wrong way. Because the first property my partner and I bought, we just did an investment loan. So we had to put the full 20% down. Granted, mitigated because we had 2 people putting it down together. But I heard you talking about Desmond was talking about the 4-plex house hack situation. That's the move if you can get it, just because of the low down payment and the cash. So like if you have a 20% down payment ready to go, but you can just put 3.5, there's your like emergency fund ready to go, which is smart.
True.
The way to do it.
Absolutely. And if you do that once a year, man, you could have 20 units very quickly. Now, the key is trying to find those and trying to find some that aren't in full disrepair to where you're spending that whole savings on repairs up front.
Yeah, exactly. Because I thought Nee was gonna get tired of me, man. Because there was a good amount, man. We walked away from, and I was like, dude, I don't know. And there was even one where we were under contract and we had gotten the inspection, and like beforehand, I knew that there were some issues, and he had actually been with this property with I think another client, and they had looked at it and walked away. So I was hesitant already, knowing there were some repairs needed, but then we got the inspection. I was like, oh my goodness, like it was just everything you could think of seemed to come up on the report. And that one we ended up walking away from. So yeah, it definitely took the process. I think it took us at least, I would say, a solid month to find this one. And we were pretty diligently looking. So yeah, I know what you mean.
One of the things that you just mentioned as well that I think is worth mentioning just for Kayla's benefit, Job, no house is perfect, right? No house is perfect. When you get an inspection, which you should get on every house, there's going to be things that pop up that are like, whoa, is this a major concern? I would just highly recommend to look at it objectively as much as you can and try to take a step back and just figure out, hey, if this is something wrong, what is the cost of this item? Because it may be a lot less than you think, or it may be a lot more. And to Desmond's point, after you kind of diagnose and understand exactly what the situation is, then you can decide if you're in the due diligence period, whether or not you want to move forward or to take a step away. And so we did walk away from a couple, and I've walked away from a lot off of inspection reports in my career, especially if the seller is not going to be willing to work with you or do any repairs and things of that nature. And so it's A-okay, it's part of the process, but you won't know about any of this until you start taking those steps forward and kind of getting in.
I'm just going to jump in. Go ahead.
I was going to ask, Kayla, are you looking at buying a short-term rental? Are you about to start, or like where are you in the process?
I'm so sorry, you broke up. I got the last part of your question.
Just more like, are you kind of trying to figure out if you want to do short-term rentals, or like where you are in the process with it?
Yeah, I am. I'm just really trying to see my options, but I mean, the biggest thing so I'm actually doing this with my younger sister. We're really interested in house hacking. Now, when we're ready to move from that property, we're open to using it as a short-term rental at that time. But yeah, very beginner stages.
So if it makes you feel any better, I closed on my first property with my partner lives in LA. I live in Florida, but I went out of the country for like 4 months. Pretty much like right when we closed. Our first guest checked in like 2 days before I left. And like, it's very easy to manage if you have the system set up right. And so like, the idea that I like to talk about is if you like look at the mountain, it seems like unconquerable, but if you just take like a step at a time, it's like very manageable. So like once you close on the property, like closing in and of itself is its own like monster. So you just like slowly work through that. And as you get in your process, you can start to see if it's going to be like, there's a point in the process where you're like, all right, cool, this is probably going to happen. Nothing's really going to fall out. And once you get to that point, like you can start looking at the Airbnb mountain, and really like, I'm sure Nee's got all the systems set up to where like messages are automatic, cleaners automatic. Like the more you can automate, the easier it is. And it's almost like you're putting in no time, like you're putting in very minimal time, and it's more of like the working on the business than working in the business situation.
Thank you. That is so helpful. And for you, did you do single family or multifamily for your short-term rental?
Both of them are single family.
Nice.
And Shelton, thank you for that as well, because it's true. Like it seems like, hey, I'm going to be on the phone 24/7, but once you set up the automations and the different systems, it eliminates like 80% of the work. And now I've gotten to the point with enough properties under management and Airbnbs that I'm eliminating the other 20% by putting other people in place to kind of manage that. But Shelton, what are some of the systems that you use to manage your short-term rental portfolio? What's been critical to your success?
So my agent that helped me down here, it's called Getting Paid for Your Pad. I'll have to look the author, but if you look it up on Amazon, I know Avery Carl has her short-term rental book with Bigger Pockets, kind of similar, but just another option to look at. And so generally speaking, there's like your three, you're going to have your like management software, which might also have your messaging, your pricing software, and then obviously you have your like app, whether that's Airbnb, VRBO, whatever. I personally use IGMS and Price Labs just because IGMS, if you want to put it on Airbnb and VRBO, it'll like if it gets booked on Airbnb, it'll block it on VRBO. And then you can automate your messaging through there. You can manage multiple properties all through one platform. And then the Price Labs, you have to manage a little bit, but it's probably the best value for like cost. And essentially it's just a demand-based pricing software. It'll kind of look at the area based on other comps and whatnot. It'll set your prices and then you can just adjust those as you see fit.
And those are clutch. So I've heard of, I literally was looking at an article earlier today about IGMS. I currently use Hospitable, which used to be called Smart B&B, very similar. It helps you manage across the platforms, whether it's VRBO, Booking.com, and Airbnb, and kind of keep all the calendars straight and then automate your messaging. And then I use dynamic pricing, which is very similar to Price Labs, to do the same thing, to get that hotel-like adjusting of the pricing so that during the week, in the low season, it's going to go a little lower so you can get the demand in and get people into the house. And then in the high season, summers, things of that nature, you can pull in a significant amount to kind of mellow out the year. So great advice, Shelton. I love using those systems. And once you do build it out, it takes a little work up front, but once you build it out and you kind of have a flow going, it's really not that hard.
And I'd also say too, so one of the things, like when you find a good cleaner, they're essentially like your number one, because they're going to be they're probably going to go, theoretically, they're going to go to the property more than you are. And I like with IGMS, you can assign cleanings to your cleaner. So our cleaner automatically gets, anytime somebody books, it's like, hey, here's the checkout date. She goes in and accepts it so I can see it. And then after it's done, she puts like a green check mark by it. So like, she's awesome. We virtually don't have to talk to her because she's like on top of it, one, but two, like there's that warm fuzzy if you're ever like worried, hey, like, did my cleaner see it or whatnot. Our previous cleaner, we'd have to send them an email with our check-in, check-out dates, and, just like trying to limit how much work you actually have to do with it.
Yeah, Shelton, I love that. And so they have to accept it. They actually click a button that says, hey, I've seen and accepted it. And then they can tell you when they're done through the app.
Yeah, so I have a lot of trust in my cleaner, so I don't necessarily like check it all the time, but it'll show that she's accepted the cleaning when it pops in, and then she can like confirm that it's complete. Another like, I guess, technique, if you will, at the townhome, we have 2 Nest cameras, one at the front door and one over the porch, and then an August home lock. And so like, those are both smart smart equipment per se. So like every time there's movement, I can see, and then it'll tell me when someone uses the lock, and she has a personal code. So like at the townhome, I'm like, okay, Becky's there right now, so we're good to go. Like just another way to back yourself up if you're looking for other ways to keep
And
track
Shelton,
of people.
for that, you said checking from the cleaning lady. Was that IGMS as well?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And the cool thing about just for like, as you go down the road, the August lock is awesome because you can connect it through Airbnb. So when somebody books, it'll automatically generate a code for them for the check-in, check-out time. You don't have to do anything making a code.
Yeah. August Lock is what I use for all the properties as well. Love it. Do you use the keypad too? The August Lock and the keypad?
Yeah, I've got the keypad, the bridge, and that's not something that I found. The people we bought it from had it already. We bought it turnkey, so they hooked it up. And I think they're awesome. I know like Schlag probably makes something similar because they work with Nest and whatnot, but it's about as hands-free as it gets.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And the other piece with this is you mentioned the cleaner. So I had a cleaner, and it's the most important part of the team. The cleaners are either going to make or break you because if a guest walks into a place and it's not clean or they're seeing different items, they can't focus on the experience at all. And it's going to be a bad review unless you give credits and kind of make up for it. But I had a cleaning crew that I started with back in April of last year, and they were awesome, right? They grew along with us. We got to like 10 units with them, and they weren't able to keep up with the growth or hire enough reliable people. And so it started to become a strain to where they were working like 7 days a week, right? And at a certain point, you need to have a break. And so they respectfully wanted to move on. So we did a transition over to a new local cleaning team that had more members. And that did not go well. I can tell you that over the last couple of weeks, there's been so many misses and like, hey, this trash wasn't taken out, or hey, there's crumbs over here, and all this stuff that was like, hey guys, how did we miss this? And so in this struggle, have been able to actually find a company that's based out of PA that's been doing this since 2016. Their name is Turnify. And I actually just joined on with them a couple weeks ago and transitioned all the units over. It's been going excellent. They have like a whole app, cleaning service, things of that nature. And most importantly, they have like a cleaning manager that kind of handles everything. So I have one point of contact that I talk to, and that person makes sure that everybody is hitting on all cylinders. And then when there's damage or anything else that's needed to get reported, there's multiple pictures, videos, and stuff that are submitted through the app, which is kind of a piece that was missing a bit before. So if anybody's looking for a cleaning suggestion, I'd highly recommend them as well. Local cleaners are going to be a little bit cheaper, but Turnify has been awesome from a technology standpoint.
Yeah, that's huge because our first cleaner is very resistant to the automation stuff, and it wasn't a hassle, but like you could see him getting overwhelmed because he hadn't been working on his systems.